Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste, welcome everyone to Satsang today. Guru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. How's the audio? Okay. It's strange to check on the audio and then not say anything after that. The audio is good, but I have nothing to say. What I want to share, if I do want to share something, is that the sheer simplicity of this, so-called discovery of the self. It is apparent to you who you are. It is apparent to you who you are, except when you think you know it. Or let's say, except when you think you know something. If you do not know anything right now, it's completely clear. Is it? This is the paradigm switch. We have been conditioned that we can become clear only if we know it. You see, in school, if you're learning geography, and if you understood the map of the world, if you know where East Africa is and India is in the map, then you feel like you know geography. Here, when we let go of all our concepts, then the truth of what you are is completely apparent to you. You don't need to even use a label like the self. So this I, this self, if we are going to use labels, is the pure knowingness itself. The knowingness of both conceptual knowing or not knowing. The knowingness of both perceptual knowing or not knowing. The knowingness of both emotional, sensational knowing or not knowing. Happens on the substratum of this unchanging self. This truth, this unchanging, cannot be grasped, cannot be held on to by any concept, by any percept, and by any sensation. The grasping of any of these, either a spiritual experience or a spiritual concept, depending on our temperament, we all attracted to various things. Some want an amazing spiritual experience and then they feel like that will be it. Some want to get to the ultimate concept and they feel like that will be it. Okay? So the grasping of these things is not it. It is prior to any of these. So when the sages speak of openness or nakedness, it is naked of any notion, any idea about yourself. Who is the one that you meet when you're not meeting emotion? That is why in India, the sage Kabir took this beautiful example that everybody's searching for the emerald. Everyone's searching for the emerald, but they have it in their pocket. But nobody looks. Look everywhere. Where is the emerald? Where is the emerald? This magical emerald, which will be the end of my suffering. This God presence, this divine divinity. Where can I find it? There's just one simple switch that needs to happen. We have looked everywhere in phenomena. Now look at what witnesses all phenomena. Okay? So that is one way. We have looked at all phenomena. Now look at what witnesses all phenomena. Another beautiful way is to look like this. You have presumed that there is a you that is looking. You have presumed that this you that is looking is a person. Now confirm who is really looking. Let the looking meet the one who is looking. Confusing? Or okay? We've been looking, no? We've been looking for this, for that, for love, for peace, for joy, for all of these things. We've been looking for relationship, for money, for various things. We have been looking. So we've just presumed this one to be a limited person, me. The me has been looking. Now look for the one that has been looking all this time. Who is that one who has been looking all this time? And then you'll see that it is so primary. It's like if you went home as a child, as a 7-year-old, you went home and you went home and said, Ma, I'm looking for the thief. I'm looking for the thief. And you went on like this. After a while, the mother says, but who are you looking for the thief? I'm the policeman. The child might get this imagined idea, I'm the policeman. But the mother will say, but are you a policeman, really? So in Satsang, you meet a different type of mother or father who's saying, but who are you that wants love, that wants peace, that wants relationship, that wants money? First, try find yourself and see what you really want. If there is a want left over there, or do we want to live under the presumption of this false policeman? Before a master can give God to the seeker of God, before the master can give God to the seeker of God, the master will ask, are you the seeker really? Can you show me this one? And if you allow yourself to presume here, if you allow yourself to assume the existence of an individual, the existence of a person, then you will make a spiritual journey out of this. But if you don't presume, you don't assume that there is a person sitting there, then you will find that there never has been one. Then the mind will come and say, but I see this body, I see this body, I am this body. Okay, suppose that that was true. Does the body want freedom? Who can say my body wants freedom? Then better to go to Gauri, to physiotherapy and you will get more freedom in your bones. Chiropractor. So we don't come to satsang for freedom for the body. So there are better places to go to for that yoga class. So who do we want freedom for? Who do we want freedom for? You cannot presume here. You cannot assume this me. You cannot assume the I. What's this? Because if you presume here, you can play this game for millions of satsangs, millions of lifetimes, millions of realms, millions of universes. You can go on and on. And that's fine too. But presumably, you're tired of assuming this me. You're tired of this game of individuality. So drop this assumption of me, even the one that is looking or seeking. What do you actually find? Where do you come from? Don't imagine, don't presume, don't rely on any words, even scripture, even the words of Satsang. Don't rely on them as concepts. What is the source of your existence? Where do you come from? This morning you woke up. This morning you woke up. Where did you wake up from? Now the thing is, these questions are super boring. For the idea of me, and they are blissful, then you're done with this idea of me. Otherwise, what will happen is that you'll face a lot of resistance to the inquiry. Because the mind will constantly ask you, so what am I getting here? What's in it for me? Am I getting freedom? Is this finally it for me? So this notion of me will not be helped by anything we hear in Satsang. Once that is clear, then we ease up a bit. There is smell coming from the AC for a bit. This is the thing, we cannot find the self in this way. It's a good illustration because it can feel like one day I will find this self in an objective way, just like that AC remote. You will not find it in that way. Because when you're going to the source of the looking, going to the source of the being, you will find that there is no attribute, no quality, no color, no shape, no size. And yet it is not nothing. It is your very essence. It is no thing, but not nothing. So what I was saying is that if the impulse is still me, freedom for me, something for me, then our relationship will be very frustrating. Because everything from here in the sharing of satsang happens so that this me is pruned away. Is pruned away. Everything that you hold on to as me is chopped away. Because there is nothing here for this me. And in reality, there is nothing anywhere for the real you. So what is it that Nisargadatta Maharaj said? Those who came just now but didn't understand anything. Those who came just now and didn't understand anything. Raise your hands. You all don't need to come because you're not understanding. Those who've been a long time and have understood and have understood, they don't need to come because they have understood. Then at the end of satsang, he said, so who all will come tomorrow? Everybody raise their hands. Because it's a strange game. Nothing here for the me, nothing here for the reality, because what could give anything to that? And yet, in the play of this life, in the play of this life, the unburdening from this individuality to God, the unburdening from this limited notion of me to the self, needs to play out in the strange ways of satsang. It's as simple as this. I am. I am a spiritual seeker. I am a spiritual seeker who wants to find God. Which ones are the lies? I am. I am a spiritual seeker. I am a spiritual seeker who wants to find God or has found God or has not found all these positions. Now, some sages will say that everything after I am is a lie, is a story. And some, like Maharaj, have gone as far as to say that I am is also ultimately a lie. He said the only truth you can speak about yourself is that I am. But ultimately, even that is a lie. Why don't we take this completely literally? Just take this completely literally, not like some end of some spiritual journey or something. At that point, I'll see this. Everything that you say after I am is a lie. Run that like a lawnmower in your garden and see what is left. Exactly. Run it like a lawnmower in America. They also be driving one. You can sit in the lawnmower and drive. You have to be a rich person. So run these pointers like lawnmowers in your garden and see what is there. It's a beautiful one. Everything that you say after I am is a lie. So if you run this lawnmower in your garden, let it chop away everything, all these weeds of individuality, of separation, of desire, of fear. Let it chop away all of this. Then what is left? Some parts you didn't run over, some parts you left, your favorite weeds, which you feel like roses will come out of. You feel like, oh, these are not weeds, these are actually, they might be a bit thorny, but these are rose bushes. One day I will go from seeker to enlightened master. Huh? I will have my devotees. So everywhere, everything, everything you believe about yourself, everything that needs belief itself is a lie. And forget about even trying to live like this or something. Even that can be enough. Okay, now I'm just going to live like this. But run your lawnmower even above that. Empty even of that. Let this coconut body do whatever it wants. Let it go along with all appearances. It is as much an appearance as the rest of this realm is. So again, if you try to limit yourself and say, Now I, as the body, will try to live this freedom. Who can carry this freedom? Father, I am stuck at this place. I don't know anything at all. But you know you are stuck? Okay, let me read this. Father, I am stuck at this place. I don't know anything at all. I can't be sure of anything. I don't know what to do or what not to do. Yes. Except the first sentence. Everything seems just like me. What is stuck? Stuck means that there is somewhere to go and there is an obstacle in the way and I am stuck. Now your destination is to sit exactly where you are sitting now. What can stuck you? Amazing piece of grammar. You get the point. If your job was to sit exactly where you're sitting, what can get in your way? You see, but I am is there. No? This I am is your starting point. This I is even before I am. So how can you presume that I have to get to this I have to get to myself. Only then the feeling of stuckness can come. That's why we've been talking about exactly this. The truth is not out there. X-Files references. The truth is not out there. The truth is your very source. It's the very source of everything. The perceiver and the perceived come from where? You're still stuck on the stuck thing. What can, what can stuck you?
The lawnmower got stuck.
The lawnmower got stuck. It's long. Then you need the dial guru service. Sometimes at one point I was answering so many questions online, Facebook, here, there. I just, after a while, it just became like, this is just like dial a pizza or something. All these various channels. So Dial and enlightenment. Other someone I just started to mow outside my place. How perfect. And you know what the best news is? And you know by now. That the lawn is already mowed. In this moment. In this moment. Everything is already done. Okay, we're going to give up today. Thank you. Goodbye. I have lost my audience. My audience is you all have a very pensive weekend or what? It's like everybody was like, suddenly they heard a joke which is not even so good. And we just can't get over it.
Something that understand.
Don't understand? She's really stuck. Quick, come and shoot your laughing Buddha video. We'll edit the first part. And then all of you can come one by one. We'll just be laughing. See, I had that laughing mix. Nobody wanted that. So I want to hear from Milind for a bit. If he can try something else. I know we laughed a lot, but the point is very simple. The point is, it is not that you have to go from point A to point B. You have to recognize what point A already is. Because it is only the notion that you have to get somewhere that you can then have a notion of an obstacle or feeling that you're stuck or you're not getting it. The notion that something should happen. What should that point B look like? No suffering. That is true now. In this very moment, you are not suffering. You need a moment to think before you can even think of why you're suffering. So in this moment, naturally, your presence is just natural. It may be a little late to mention this, but the sound is not so good today. Little late. But it's because there's more distance now of the fan. Could be the sound of the lawnmower, she said. So Ani said it's okay. Nobody is listening. You know how many ways an Advaitin can read that sentence? And nobody is listening. It is just the listening itself. Shall we end with a poll? Where do you want to go? If you can answer, either just shine your own light on it or expose it out loud. Where do you want to go in this? This entire spiritual search is so what can happen? And by the way, I'm not saying drop the search. Papaji already said that many years ago, and nobody listened. So I'm not saying drop the search. I'm saying neither drop nor pick up. So what are you searching for or not? Nothing? How many say nothing? How many say still something? Searching for something? What? Huh? Changing. The goalpost changes every day. No wonder you'll be tired. Imagine running after something every day you change. Between same stuff, relationship, stability, spiritual goal life, freedom. Yeah, so that freedom, so good. So this freedom would look like one day like Mira with What's wrong with right now?
When you ask what's wrong right now, like what you said, some pain.
Huh?
Some pain in the body.
They have some pain in the body, you want to be free from that?
There's no one. In this moment, like, even I'm noticing this concept of awareness, like when you ask, what's wrong right now?
Oh, just in the asking itself, some pain is coming, like a resistive.
Yeah, I mean, that's, if you ask again, what's wrong is right now, like, very immediately, like, some knowledge here in the body should be not.
Oh.
Pain is here, some. And then I don't know if this concept or it's.
Everything ultimately is a concept. But I'm happy your English has become really good now.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been practicing? Yes. It's amazing. Did you here for a few days? You're on the way to Russia. Is it good? Okay. Both of you going to Russia? Used to.
Actually, I would like to point to this idea, like, it seems like from the body I can answer. Or this not like you see the place and saying like when you say what is wrong right now, it's like body says same thing. It's wrong right now. You should go to the toilet for example. Yeah. But this is pain not about the body and emotional.
So the question is, what do you want right now? And in response to the question, some sensation, some energy is being perceived. Yes? Now, if you leave it without interpretation, then believe it without believing the interpretation of it, then if you don't have to solve it, if you don't have to understand what it means,
I'm not noticing it's meaning something in my way. It's like you thirsty. If you ask me what is wrong right now, I say I need water.
yeah.
And again, if you ask me what is wrong right now, so from the body right now, it's should be different.
It's like the interpretation is coming, like it should be different, or just the body is something.
Yes, something.
Yeah. So don't label it like a negative thing. Just say the body enjoyed the question a lot. Body enjoyed the question a lot.
Maybe another else.
The need to figure out, the need to label, the need to interpret. But actually, we've never known anything at all. You say, what about the sensation in the body? But I say, what about the body itself? Where does it arise from? You say some sensations come. But all these sensations, thoughts, memories, imagination, this world, this body, what is the source of it? This is also sensation. Even body is sensation. So don't have to single out any sensation. Where does all of it come from? What is the source of all of this? It's like we have a house of cards, which is built of nonsense. I mean, we don't know any of it. So they keep trying to add some cards, feeling like one day we'll have the final cards on top, like that. In Satsang, it can be a bit troublesome because the master comes in there. It's just like, oh, you're building up now the spiritual part of this house of cards. This is the final step. The awareness of awareness, the non-awareness of non-awareness. When you're struggling like this, no? Is there awareness of awareness or is it non-awareness of awareness? Is there awareness of non-awareness and awareness? The knowing of the not knowing of the knowing. So you can feel like we'll come to that ultimate concept and we just put it over there. And that'll be it. I finally figured out what's going on. We cannot answer what's going on in this video. We cannot answer what's going on. They use a term in the world. For a few moments, I didn't have a care in the world. What does that mean? It means that for a few moments, I just forgot about everything I know. I didn't have a care in the world. All these things that we think we know are not true. We do not know the basis of existence itself. Then how can we know something that is after existing? We do not know who we are, who I am. And we know I am this, I am happy, I am sad. The foundation itself, really, we don't know. And we keep building these house of cards, these buildings around this I am, not knowing who's at the center of this. We think a person is sitting there. We think a person is sitting there. But when you just do the lawnmower, you will discover something which is much more magnificent than any idea you can have about yourself. Who's sitting there as your presence, as your being? Who is this? Who is your being? Whose being is it? Let's put it another way. Whose being is it? Whose Atma is it? This is more important than to find out who your neighbors are, who is there in the next cubicle at work. Who is existing as you? Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadhguru Srimati Baba ki
Jai. Sadhguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kevalam.